Hello to all the geek enthusiasts and nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 from Malice Corp here. We are ready to talk some Game of Thrones. Episode 7, or Season 7, Episode 1 aired today. We finally brought it back. We had Dragonstone come out, and we got to talk about this. So hashtag for the episode, the North remembers. And that says it all right there. I'm on the cast, Mess 5150. We have the Big Papa Matt.
Yo, that hashtag says the first 10 minutes, and that's all that really mattered in this episode anyways.
Oh, eat your words, kind sir.
Speaking of kind sir, we also have our behind the scenes on the podcast, Jack Malice, joining us.
Hello. I'm here.
Special guest. You guys are in for a treat. And we also have SuperWhovianFreak.
Special. I guess I'm special now.
It's SuperWhovianFreak joining us.
All right, let's get into this.
Okay. So you guys are ready to talk?
Can anybody hear us? Beth is in the chat room saying silence. More silence.
Again?
No, it's should be there. Check or mute.
Oh, it just came on. So no, it's back on. So let's we heard Jack Malice. We heard me talking now. So welcome to everybody. She should be able to hear us now.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Hey,
Hey,
what's up, Robert? You're the
Welcome,
turd. Since you can't hear me, I'm gonna call you that. But maybe you can.
No, we have sound. We have sound. So once again, Mess 5150 here to talk Game of Thrones with you guys. We have Jack Malice here. Big Papa Matt, you want to say hello again?
Yeah, and just like I said the first time, that hashtag, it only matters for the first 10 minutes, which was the only great part of this episode.
Which you guys didn't hear the hashtag. The hashtag is the North remembers. Hashtag North remembers. And then we have SuperWhovianFreak. We have SuperWhovianFreak joining us as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Let's get into it. Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. It started out with an amazing first 10 minutes, as Big Papa Matt brought up, with Arya kind of showing the mini faces that she's.
Are you really gonna do this and tiptoe around it? Let's go.
Let's go into it.
She went to be Walda Frey and she killed every Frey in the building. So
she killed every Frey in the building. I mean, it was a direct parallel to the Red Wedding, and
there's a lot less throat slitting than in the Red Wedding. So there's also
but I mean, in the sense of you wiped out my family, I'm wiping out your family. That is, it was payback. It was pure and simple, and the quote that she gave, you left a wolf alive. You didn't wipe out the pack. And when you leave a wolf alive, the sheep aren't safe. The sheep aren't safe.
They're not shaved either. They're not shaved either. And neither are they safe. When
and
those
then
wolves are around.
The sheep are not safe 5 times fast for us?
No, I cannot. So that was, and she's on a mission, and, that is, she's on her path of revenge, and watch out,
Yeah. So that was, I think, probably one of the most epic openings for a season so far. And then it slowed down a little bit. We got okay, so Beth is still saying she's not hearing us, but Robert just put Shafe, so so sound is working. It moved into Jaime and Cersei. We're talking about what their plans are. Well, actually, before that, we went into back to Jon Snow.
Yeah, well, we go back to the Wall. So Bran Stark's finally arrived at the Wall, and then Jon is basically forming his alliance with the Bear Island and the Mormonts, and him and Sansa are bickering back and forth. I love Sansa right now. I mean, she is not putting up with any crap.
Well, that's what I want to talk about on that factor too. Do you think a divide is going to end up coming because she looks a little bit like she's not happy that she's basically not in charge. That's the
I don't know if it's the sense of that she's not in charge. I mean, she may have her own game. I think it's more of the sense of she's not being acknowledged. She just wants to be the line that she gives John, like, well, look at Joffrey. Joffrey didn't listen to anyone. Joffrey, didn't do anything. And do you want to be a king like Joffrey?
Can I jump in right there?
Yeah,
with you, Sarah? Well, if she'd say something that's worth hearing and wasn't mouthing or miming Littlefinger's just Machiavellian BS.
Everything that Tim said, I since he's cutting out, I'm going to jump in on it. Sansa needs to pick her time and place, and that's what she didn't learn from Cersei. She talked about how she learned a lot from Cersei. Mm-hmm. What she didn't learn was to pick her time and place, because Cersei never knew how to be a subtle hammer. She's a hammer. She's a beast. She is Mjolnir of Game of Thrones, smashing faces in, but what she isn't is tactful. And that's one of those subtle, where Sansa needs to learn that portion of it, because that's what she needs to learn from Littlefinger is the wins and the wears. And she's not picking those points out. And John will absolutely listen to her when she's not trying to challenge everything he's doing, because that's what it really seemed like. It was more of a challenge than it was, hey, here's some great advice.
Yeah. Well, I almost get the feel that she still, it's her brother, but she still feels like he's a little more the bastard. Like he's good for this role, but he shouldn't have this role because he's not, she still doesn't know where John actually comes from and everything, that he is rightfully.
But he doesn't know where she's from either. He wasn't there when she was raped and stuff like that. And that's a bad word. Don't do that kind of stuff, kids. But it's one of those things where I think those are the effects that's still going on. I think she is very much in a kind of a PTSD standpoint right now, where she is still seeking her revenge, because it wasn't just the Ramsay that caused that pain to her. It was all of those people that betrayed her family that caused that pain. Yeah. And she's still feeling that. The thing is now she's at a point where she's got this power. She doesn't know how to use it yet. And that's what it's going to be really cool, is watching her learn to use this power. The thing is she's doing it in the wrong place right now. John knows how to use his power now. He was betrayed because he messed up using his power. Now it's one of those things where he learned the lesson the hard way. Let's hope Sansa doesn't have to do the same and she loses her life because of it as well. Yeah.
And Robert mentioned in the chat, I agree. That's something I think will come. He said the divide looks like it comes when they find out Snow is half Targaryen. And I think when that does come to, then he's going to be battling between bloodlines of which way to go and stuff. So
how do I sound now? Am I okay now?
You sound good,
sir.
Okay. So I want to jump in there real quick. I want to jump in there and say what I was trying to say just real quick. I think that there's a little bit of a Machiavellian twisting going on, where Littlefinger's playing both ends against the middle, and he's using her as a mouthpiece, and he's setting her up for failure, or trying to just drive that wedge so he can step in. And if she was actually saying something that was really worth listening to, Snow might listen. He might listen.
Well, I think Littlefinger is going to be the little devil on her shoulder that's going to end up pushing her more towards trying to take Snow out of power. And as he tries to get with her, as he's so evidently trying, because even when you saw at that first conversation and Snow was talking, she looked over and he had that little bit of a smirk on his face, like he's got something going on.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know why the Targaryen knowledge though would split them. I don't see why that would be something that split Snow, like John, up from the rest of his family. Like, it
might not split the rest of his family.
They don't have
it might split the alliance that he's forming.
But why? They don't have anything against the Targaryens. They have everything against the Lannisters.
No, there's still a lot of hate for the Targaryens. That's why Master Aemon had been banished up to the wall. They don't, and here comes Daenerys now coming in to storm the castle, so to speak.
No, he was banished up to the wall because he was a potential rival for the Mad King. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He was an heir to the throne, is why. Yeah. And the thing is, what I see with that, and I love Robert's point, that about the Targaryen and split like that. But I think that's really Littlefinger's ace in the hole. I think he's holding that knowledge. He's waiting to use that at the right time to divide, to conquer with it, and to use it at the right place. I think Littlefinger's known this, has had this knowledge for quite some time. Because he was so close to the Stark family and the Tullys and things like that as they were all growing up and watched all these things happen.
He was close to the Tullys. He was not close to the Stark family.
He saw every single thing that the Stark mother saw, and he knew everything she knew. And she knew deep down that was not her son, that where that son came from when Jon Snow, he knows. He did all that knowledge. He's gained all of that.
Yeah, and then we got another point from the chat room. Marco Minko, welcome to the chat. But Sansa's looking for revenge. Jon's looking for advantage, and I do agree. I do agree with that.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. So
no, great.
I would say that I would expect if it was to come to be known that Jon was half Targaryen, if it was a Southern Kingdom, I'm going to be upset if it does split the alliance, because I would make sense in the Southern Kingdoms, because down there everybody's all about intrigue and twisty. In the North, the people there take people as they are, not from where they're from. And in this episode, Jon put it. He put it very fully.
He will not punish for the sins of the father.
Yes.
Right. And the men of the North don't think that way. And if it does end up breaking the alliance, that's bad writing, because they've set up a moral code in the North, the entire storyline that the men of the North are more practical. They see people as what they do instead of what they think they are. And if it does, that's gonna really that's contrived bad writing, and that's something I would expect out of Martin. That's something I expect out of Martin. But since these are not being written,
absolutely. But here's the thing: I think the knowledge of Snow being a Targaryen, that's what's going to bind the two armies. That's what's going to combine the Targaryen, Daenerys fleet, and Jon Snow. I think he uses that as an advantage and said, because right now, Daenerys, she just wants to burn all of Westeros. She has it against the Starks. She has it against everybody. Lannister, against Baratheon. It doesn't matter what your name is. She's after you. And I think the knowledge of Snow being half Targaryen is what will save the North and have her help out and let the dragons rain some fire on the Lich King. What's up? Get some.
Yeah, it's possible. That would be good.
I think there's going to be divide. There's going to be a divide.
It's Snow demons.
I think there's going to be a divide, and once that undead army that Bran saw in his vision comes in, that's what's going to be the thing that unites everybody, if they're going to unite. Because
if they're going to unite,
otherwise, when you got some undead,
they haven't even met yet. So I mean, we have to have them meet still. We know that Jon comes south. We're assuming to jump ahead to the end of the episode, when Samwell Tarly discovers that Dragonstone sits on a mountain of dragon glass. I am assuming that is one of the reasons that Jon is going to come south, because we know he goes to Dragonstones from the trailers and the previews. So we can only assume that
I agree that he's going to come south, but I think that he's not going to get the information that the dragon glass is there, because I expect a running retreat story to be dropped in here in this season, where the men of the North are doing a fighting retreat from the North to the South.
Maybe. So we'll see.
Let's move deeper into
that's a big if at the moment
in the episode before we get to the end of it. So the next major scene that happened was Cersei and Jaime talking and seeing her preparing for war by getting all of Westeros painted onto the ground in the chamber. And she posed the question to him if he was mad at her still, and he's like, well, I'm not mad anymore. And she's like, are you scared? And he's like, no, should I be? What do you guys think is going on there?
Their situation is not good, and he pointed it out very starkly to her. You've got the North coming for you. You've got Highgarden coming for you. You've got Daenerys coming for you. Look at you. You've burned the ally with the Freys. The Freys are dead. where are you going to turn? Who are you going to turn to? And she's, got that look on her face, and she's like, I spent so many years watching Father. Did you really think I didn't learn anything? And then boom, out pops the Greyjoys. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, because Euron Greyjoy seems a little bit nutty.
He's a total
nutter, but so it's something. She's got a fleet now, at least. And we're only assuming, I don't know what the deal is. They didn't really explain what he's getting. I guess he's getting her, because she said he came for a queen. So I can only assume she's offering her hand in marriage to him to get the fleet. But
she said they said the prize needed to be. So what do you think? He's said he'll go get it and he'll bring it back. What do you think that he's
I don't know at this point. They didn't drop enough hints.
Jack, what do you think?
I'm expecting him to double cross her, because he said that when he was a little boy, his one wish was to marry the most beautiful woman on earth. And he's looking for a queen. Does that necessarily mean it's Cersei? Because there is another one. He could go down and go down to Dragonstone and run into Daenerys and be like her better, and just come back and be like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, he comes from a family of double crossers. So
I don't think it would happen, because you've got his cousins with their fleet with Daenerys. So
yeah.
So a couple things real fast. We got a good couple comments from the chat room as far as now there's 2 legitimate claims of the throne if Snow is revealed to have the Targaryen blood. But also Marco is talking about Jon possibly going down there to Dragonstone and being completely declined by Daenerys and saying, no, go and fight your White Walkers by yourself. Figure some other way to do it.
Maybe.
And her keeping that dragon glass for herself.
Yeah, that's all.
And,
yeah.
And then we got Tuna Luna in the house. What's up, dude? And then he's saying it's going to Gendry. Gendry's coming back, taking that throne for himself.
And we do know that Gendry's coming back. We don't know why Gendry's coming back, but I mean, I just loved the interplay between Jaime and Euron. When Euron's talking about Jaime coming up from Casterly Rock, and yeah, you burned our fleet, but we still came. We still, and he's talking about Jaime being beautiful in battle. And he's like, dude, I was killing your own people. And he's like, the place was getting crowded anyways, good on you.
It helps his team to take the lead of the throne by killing off.
Yeah.
I love the little jab at the end of it where he's like, well, I'm here and I've got 2 good hands.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes. I mean, he was, and then, rubbing Cersei's face, and like, my cousins may have taken my ships and run off and joined Daenerys, but I've heard that you've got your own problems with that, don't you?
The best line is you should I didn't kill my brother, and his response is, well, you should try it sometime.
I know.
Oh yeah.
And I loved him testing housing and stuff he had, because that when he started walking up to the throne in the mountain, took that one step, he's like, okay, that's something. Yeah, now I know I don't take that step. Don't push too much just yet. But he is definitely testing his boundaries. So, oh God, okay.
We're getting some
spoilers in another chat.
Spoiler.
You can't have a conversation like this without spoilers. I'm sorry.
Grow up. If you're on this, you should have watched the episode. If you're tuning in and haven't watched episodes, sorry, your fault, not ours.
No, it's about a different conversation that was happening earlier.
Absolutely.
So he's out there. That's the gift. Greyjoy has been on the seas for years. He had to run into him. He was out there for 4 years. Okay, so that's the gift. Okay, he's saying that. Okay. The gift can be Ilaria or the Sand Snakes. Okay. So we got some ideas of what the gift that he's going to be bringing back will be. So the next thing we went into for major scenes.
But I don't see that being the Sand Snakes, though. I don't know how the Sand Snakes would ever be the gift for the Lannisters. I mean, they've basically thrown down. They've thrown down. They went and killed the daughter. Like there's no way that they.
Well, that could be a gift. Well, that could be a gift then. You get to kill the people that killed your kid.
Honestly, the gift is if he gets his hands on their brother.
Maybe.
Well, that's a good point. He could be going after after the
because the sand snakes, if from one of the trailers that I watched, if I remember correctly, both Asha Greyjoy and the sand snakes, or at least one of the sand snakes, were kidnapped, and they were being led through King's Landing by Euron.
Yeah, but if he somehow gets his hands on Tyrion, then he will.
Well, yeah, game over, man. Game over.
He will have her. Cersei will be like, "Yep, nope, yeah." That's
Robert here in the chat channel is talking about his fave is the Hound, and I really want to talk about him before we are
definitely going to get into
the Gain. He is the beast for sure.
Before we get the scene before we get to the Hound, the next major scene was we had Sam.
Sam and his ladles, man. That's what this episode should have been called. Was Sam and his ladles, because that man, he had two ladles, and one was shoveling one thing, and one was pouring the other.
It was so gross.
If you ever feel like your daily routine at work is bad, watch that 3-minute excerpt, and you will never.
They took it too far. It's like, we get the point. Okay, now I'm gagging. Okay, now I'm getting ready.
I'll never be able to eat beef stew again. Never again.
No.
The point of that was
he basically
he's there for a good purpose, but he can't do it because they won't let him. He's got to be there eating food that looks like the same stuff that he's taking out from under people's bedpans and scrubbing and stuff, and putting back the same books over. And he's has a legitimate reason
to be there, and he was pleading his case, and he got denied.
Yeah. So how do you guys think that's going to factor in? Is he going to get caught? Is it going to get into big trouble? Is he going to be able to get out of there and get back to John?
I think the guy that was talking to him, I think he knows that he was going to sneak in there. I mean, he totally snuck in there Harry Potter style to the restricted section of the library and pulled what he needed. I mean, he wasn't even hiding it. He was reading it in front of that girl whose name I can't remember. And that's when he discovered the dragon glass. That was later, actually.
The maester that he's working with doing the autopsy makes a really good point, that their job as maesters in the Citadel, not the maesters that are out in the world, is they're the archivists. They're their version of the internet. They record information, and that's their only job, is to record information and keep the histories of the world.
Yeah.
So
we are the world's memories.
Like, here is not the place where this should happen. He made good points. But, this winter doesn't look like it's going to be like the long winter. It looks like it's going to just completely destroy all mankind. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, and then right before that, though, right after, he talked about all of us are there for our own reasons. And Sam's reason wasn't to come and be an archivist. Sam's reason was to come and find a way to save all these people. And that's what Sam's purpose is there, is it's not to just to archive and to learn, but to save everyone. And that's his true task to being there. And we'll see how he tries to get that point across. Obviously, right now he's having to steal books and stuff like that. So hopefully he gains a little bit more of that great knowledge that he's been looking for, besides just where Dragon Glass might be located.
Well, there's a good point too. That was written how many years ago? The Dragon Glass could have been mined out.
Oh yeah, it could be gone. It could be all gone.
But here's what
because think about the Baratheon brother that was there. That could have been his task while he was sitting on that throne, was to mine out all that dragon glass and to destroy it.
Stannis,
for all we know. So,
but
who knows? We don't know. That's the whole point.
It could be a factor that dragon glass is gone, but it might be dragon fire that makes the dragon glass, and because she has it, she may have to. She has the dragons to actually create dragon glass.
Absolutely, it's all there to be recreated.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, you know what would be even? It would be contrived and would be obnoxious if they did this. He goes there and he finds that there is no dragon glass because it's all been mined out and turned into weapons already, and there's just a big pile of weapons sitting there waiting. That would irritate the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna need some big weapons, because if you counted, all 3 of the giants were in that vision. So the other 2 were way.
We gotta go down there and get the dragon glass, guys, so we can build weapons to fight the evil horde of undead from the north. and they find a vault of weapons. Yeah. Can we say Saturday morning cartoon?
I mean, you don't need a whole lot of Dragon Glass. I mean, if Sam's out there killing White Walkers with a little shard of it, it ain't gonna take a whole lot to start taking out armies of it. So. And then Jay Lee is in the house. Hey, what's up? Everybody else as well. I saw Robert, Marco. I think I gave Tuna a shout out as well. And then Beth. Hey.
Welcome, everybody. And this is a fun little chat going on. We have descriptions of Progresso Stew looking like who's in those ladles. So
it's a good time. It's a good time. It's got a little irony taste to it. It's a little
we jumped back up to the north after that. You see Brienne. She's obviously training people, and she's being flirted with. I think for the first time ever.
No, he was already giving her eyes last season. So
all I gotta say is the bear better watch out for my girl Brienne. He better not be touching my lady like that.
Oh,
he is. I have to get down. I'll have to throw down.
But the best, I mean,
the perfect man for her, though, man. You got to understand.
I am. You're right. This beard is the perfect man for Brienne, not that dirty ginger bearded jerk.
Well,
it's because he's a ginger, huh?
He's a ginger. My favorite. No, actually, I loved it. No, I really did. I love that is going to be a thing because yes, if anybody's going to make the most badass children ever, it's going to be those two.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
that's a new ship that'll be to get out there now.
To the north when Jon Snow takes over and is the king of the Seven Kingdoms, is the Warden of the North right there. Boom. You heard it here.
The Warden of
the my favorite scene of the episode, besides the first 10 minutes, was in that scene, and when she's training him and he walks over and she loses her attention and he hits her with his sword and she just socks it.
That was so great.
Pod just gets smacked.
Yeah. Because he didn't even, he didn't even phase her. He just kind of like, it looked like he punched her pretty hard. She just kind of looked at him and was like, poof.
It was like a fly. Just so.
And then, he whacked her with his sword. He hit her with the cross guard of his sword right in the chest. And she looked at it like, what was this?
And then for some reason, Robert is hoping that Daenerys and Jon Snow get married and bring back Targaryen incest to the show. I think we've moved past incest in Game of Thrones, and no one wants it back.
So nobody wants that back.
We got that in the first episode. There's no reason.
But they could definitely merge armies. Yeah. So I'm going to say though, one of the best quotes for me, because it's not often I get to quote Sansa Stark, but when she's Baelish comes up to her and is trying to talk to her, and she is just like all done with him. She's like, I'm not even listening to you. He's like, well, what about being happy? Are you happy? And she's like, what would make me happy at the moment is just some peace and quiet. No need to try and get in the last word there, Baelish. We'll just all assume it's something clever, and then walks off. And I was like, yes, finally, so done with everyone's crap. And and I'm not, like you said earlier, she may not still be making the smartest decisions because she's all out for revenge, but at least she's finally standing up for herself, so to speak, in the sense of, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you when I don't want to. I'm going to just walk away. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome.
What were you going to say, Matt?
So I want to move on to Cersei though. So because I really think that we've come to a point now where it's all on Jaime Lannister to make a decision now, where he's always been about his family. But now that his family is gone, he protected the realm once against a mad king. Will he protect the realm a second time and kill his own sister?
From a mad queen?
From a mad queen.
From a mad queen. Will he, does he have it?
That was the major speculation.
That is
the end of last season when you saw Jaime standing there staring at her. That's what everybody thought was coming. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to turn on her, but I think Arya will get that. She'll get that kill.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he'll deny her. I think he didn't. I think we get a weird Romeo Juliet moment where he has to take his sister out because no one else can.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll end up taking her out, but okay. The only thing that temporized Cersei throughout the entire other seasons were her children. Mm-hmm. And now they're gone. There's nothing holding her back, and all
She's
that
terrified.
evil and hate and anger inside of her is just pouring forward.
It is. It's spilling
she's
out.
Black Queen. She is just and you know, is as bad as Jamie can be in some of the twisted stuff that he has done. He's still inherently a good person. He really is.
He is.
What absolutely shows how twisted and dark she is was when they were talked about their last Tobin when he committed suicide, and she said he betrayed them. Like, it wasn't even a factor of sadness or anything. She was pissed that he did it, and that it was like he betrayed me. He didn't do what I wanted him to do, and so she's gone off the deep end with it. So you're absolutely right on that, Jack.
But I think you're right. I think he'll deny her, but I don't think he'll be the one to take her out. I think she'll end up killing him.
Well, and that's the thing. And Robert brings up a great point where she doesn't care about anything, and Jamie still cares for her. But I think that's why he kills her. I think that's why he takes her out, is because he still has love for her. I think that's why she kills him, is because at the last second he'll hesitate. That's her last piece of her family that she trusts. She won't take out the one last piece of the Lannister clan that she actually trusts still. But he'll do it for her to save his love, to save her soul, to not let her make a choice that he knows she's going to eventually have to make. He knows that she's going to have to do some horrible, and he knows it's coming. But I think he's going to take her out before that happens, to save the woman that he loves.
I think the exact opposite. I think that he's got that good solid core, and he'll hesitate, and she doesn't, and she will just strike like a viper, and that'll be the end of Jamie.
But she's never been able to strike Jamie. She's never been able to. She's had plenty of reasons to take Jamie out.
I agree with Jack if it's a factor of choosing between Cersei and Tyrion, and I think that's where it's going to come. I think it's going to be the three of them back together, and her coming after Tyrion, and Jamie having to decide which one. And he may attack her to stop her from killing Tyrion, but hesitate because he doesn't want to kill her and end up costing him his life instead. That's the way I could see it going, but twists and turns. that's Game of Thrones for you.
Hey, Marco dropped a nice little point in there in the chat channel. He says, I like what she said, I'm the protector of the 7 kingdoms, and Jamie replied, it's more like 3 kingdoms. That would right there.
That's when he segued into the north is coming and the south is coming, and
that's the thing, is he's trying to talk sense into her the whole time. She's not listening to any of it. He's telling her you can't trust this person and this person.
And just like with the Mad King, when he had to take down the Mad King, and the Mad King would not listen to reason, he's gonna have to take down the Mad Queen.
Yeah,
because she will not listen to reason.
I agree. I think it's going to parallel. Yeah, I think it's going to parallel.
He's going to make the decision again.
It's not going to be Arya. If it's not going to be Arya,
he's gonna freeze up or lock up, and she's
Here's a twist for you. What if it is Arya that kills Cersei in the guise of Jamie?
I could see that happening too.
She knows.
That's a possibility.
I could absolutely see that.
That's absolutely a possibility.
You have to kill the person before she can take on their persona. So that would mean she'd have to kill Jamie first, right?
She could. She's got it out for the Lannisters.
They would have to die. The person has to be dead for her to take the guys, right? So, it could be something where, maybe Arya breaks in, convinces Jamie to go and kill, and Jamie dies taking out the mountain for her, and then, Arya goes and finishes the job, disguises Jamie or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I could. There's so many different things that can happen here.
Oh, it's crazy right now.
Well, that's excellent too, because you know what?
Because I got to laugh real fast at it. Jason Lee was talking about how he can't trust the show anymore, and when they were passing the rabbit around at the camp, that he was like, "That thing's poison for sure." And I thought the wine was. I thought when she took a swig of the wine, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna pass out. She's gonna get knocked out." And the Lannister men are going to have her way or something.
Robert brought up the factor, and this will go into our next thing. Robert brought up the factor. The big question is, who's the poor bastard who had to fight the mountain to get to her?
Oh, that's Clegane, dude.
It's going to be Clegane.
It's brother versus brother.
Exactly.
We're going to get it.
Speaking of Clegane, that was the next major scene.
That's the group that he's in was the group that Ned Stark started or brought up, right, to first take out the mountain, correct? Like during the first war?
Yeah. So, and that's the next major scene as we come back into.
Well, going before we jump forward to that, you what do you think of the Lannister? I know it seems almost like a little fluff scene where she's sitting there eating the rabbit and she's talking to the Lannister.
That comes after Clegane.
Does it come after Clegane?
That's why I wasn't going to do it yet. After.
Okay.
That's what I was going.
No, it comes before.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Arya meets up with the travelers.
And just to show for Beth, she's talking about how Maisie Williams should have been the next Doctor Who, but obviously she's busy with Game of Thrones, a better show. So, Sarah.
So she comes up on the land on. So as Jack was saying, Arya comes up on the Lannister men, the guard, the actual army. To some singing. Okay. This was my annoyed part of the episode. To some singing, and as you come around the corner, the shameless cameo in the episode of I can't remember his name now.
Ed Sheeran
sitting there.
Is that who that redheaded guy was?
I knew he was
somebody. I didn't even
recognize him.
I like Ed Sheeran.
It didn't bother me at all.
I was so mad at the cameo because I'm like, okay, now we're getting into that world where it's like, I like Game of Thrones. I'm popular. I want to be in an episode. No, we're
not. That's one person. Who else has done that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're getting it. That's what I'm saying is we're getting into that stage now because we're getting to the end of the series, and I don't want to see that start happening. So I hope that's the only. I think
it'll be fine. I think they just wanted
that's the only shameless cameo.
He was a singer, All
right, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
So
I think it was more typecasting, and they needed somebody to sing, so they got somebody that was popular that could sing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but why did you have to go get a popular? There's other people. It's just it annoyed me. But
all I'm saying
William Shatner jumped out and said, Priceline.com.
So what are you saying, Wes? That
and let's be honest, the Lannisters would never hire a redhead
just because they're popular. I mean, how do we know he didn't just go in and audition and he just got that part? It's not like they wrote the part for him.
No, I think they called.
Do we know?
I think they called.
Maybe they did, but if you don't know that for sure, I wouldn't, spit flames at what we don't know for sure.
Them or something. Yeah, because
Britney Spears was in frickin' How I Met Your Mother, but she called them, or they didn't call her. She just went in and auditioned for the dang role, and she got it because they were like, but. I'm not saying Britney Spears is at the level that Ed Sheeran was when she did How I Met Your Mother.
Let's not do How I Met Your Mother and Game of Thrones comparisons right now. It's different worlds. Completely.
It felt weird. It was a one line, like here I am singing, and hey, camera right on my face, so you can absolutely see who I am, and have my one little line, and then go to the rest of it felt forced. So,
Jay Lee said it would only be a forced cameo if he started singing "I'm in love with her body."
Well, no, did you hear the line? She came up and she mentions his voice for singing, and he says he says it's a new one. She's like, I've never heard that song before. He's like, oh, it's a new one. Come on.
Yeah. So here's my thing though. What if Maisie was like, I want Ed Sheeran to be in the show with me?
It's just as bad. So, getting on, that was just my annoying.
You know what? The thing was, I was like, obviously that dude is somebody because they've spent way too much time looking at him.
Exactly.
And I didn't know who it was so it really had zero effect on me because I had no idea who it was.
I didn't know who it was either.
So, the man is an amazing songwriter, and I do like his songs, and he's extremely talented. It felt forced to me, but. Gotcha. They sit there and they share the rabbit and they start talking about kind of serving under the Lannisters as an army and that pretty much their life is shit for the most part.
It almost seems like a fluff scene until you get to the end of it, and then you realize that they're throwing it in there to kind of
point out her mission now.
I think it's in her mission that she's realizing that not every person that serves the Lannisters is an evil bastard that deserves to die.
Exactly.
Because it was that comment that he made when he handed the rabbit to her, and she's like, "You don't have enough," and he's like, "No, I was always taught, basically put the best foot forward."
But is this something though, right here though, that shows her weakness that she's not a killer? That maybe she should have spent more time in the House of Black and White to
the first 10 minutes
more cold-blooded, because that's one of those things where that's the thing though. She can have a code where she's not killing women and babies.
Okay.
But to completely change her whole thought process on the entire Lannister, that's where I'm at with that.
But they're not Lannisters.
Is that going to show her a weakness for her? Is that going to become a strength? Is that going to show she doesn't have what it takes to get down? And that's the thing. You serve the Lannisters, you might as well be a Lannister.
But
and that's where she was at always before. She was always there before that if you serve this family, you deserve to die.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. We don't know. She may kill them.
I was with Mrs. Malice, and I was like, "Oh, they're softening her up," and she's like, "Yeah, but would she really kill them all? They were just following orders." And I'm like, "The following order defense doesn't hold up. They were doing bad. They did evil stuff. They're just because their lord tells them to do it doesn't make it okay." But she's now realizing that they're not all bad.
They're not. Yeah.
Does that mean die?
No, you don't deserve to die. You serve in an army. You're drafted by an army. You're just doing, how are they any different than any other soldier,
But there's an argument against that in World War II. There's these people that wore lightning bolts on their shoulders. Just because you're in the army that represents it doesn't mean you're free of the crimes. So it's one of those things where, and Tuna, Luna is on the chat saying that's not a weakness. But it's one of those things where I think it shows that she still has humanity. And maybe she, is she going to stick to her cause, which is taking all those names out? And if she is wavering now, what does that become later on?
Well, there's another way to look at it too. There's another way to look at it too. Back towards her list. You know what I mean? Instead of just going into wholesale slaughter mode, because that's what she's really been doing lately, has been poisoning large groups of people and murdering large groups of people. It might be pointing her back and clarifying that, you know what? Not everybody that serves them is evil. Maybe I should just go for the head of the snake.
Watch the collateral damage a little bit.
There has been some comments about cameos in the chat. They did say that
they were going off for sure. They didn't want the Beebs.
Oh yeah.
More Nick Cage though. There's a shout for more Nick Cage.
There was a musician at
all I gotta say is if they have if they ever bring in Justin Bieber on this show, and unless he dies, unless they kill him in spectacular fashion, I will quit watching, because he's infected and poisoned so much.
Tuna said that
the show.
The band who plays Reigns of Cast in the Red Wedding episode was a real band. Ian McShane had a cameo. So they have used cameos a couple times. This one just felt more forced and contrived to me. But
if Nick Cage does a cameo, he's got to be of the undead army, because that's pretty much
that was kind of cool.
He'll be able to come down and be like, "Ah."
Hey, I'm willing to see a White Walker Cage any time of the day.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
So, and then we got into Clegane, and with the man.
First though, before we get to Clegane, I have to just one last thing is how badass is the little Lord of the Bear Islands. She was phenomenal. She crushed it again. She shut that dude up. Like, she just shut that dude down. She's like, let me tell you what this is. I
don't need your permission. I don't need your permission to fight for my country. Like, we are going to train everyone.
We will train all the boys and girls, sir.
I was expecting that little finger snap at the end,
And before we move on to in that same scene, that's where John forgives the Karstarks.
Absolutely.
And, who is the other family? The Karstarks and
some with a G. I forget.
Yeah.
But I love the line, and it shows that Jon Snow does know something. He actually knows how to rule. He does know how to rule. And when he sits there and has them come forward and renew their oaths and brings their families back in with their soldiers and lets them keep their ancestral homes, he just made those two families. Those two families will serve him for life. For the next, as long as he's alive, those two families are going to be right there with him. So, I mean, he knows how to cement an alliance and allegiance hard.
And that's where Sansa tells them, you are good at this. You can at least see that. She's smart enough to see that.
Umber.
Okay.
I thought it was a jeer. I thought there was someone else in there. What the heck?
But why did she say he's good at it when she's counseling him to do the exact opposite of
I know.
Opposite. Yeah.
She's trying.
She may have realized. You know,
some little finger without knowing how to do it.
Because he's listening to Littlefinger. Because that little conniving little.
Because we all know he just wants one thing: the little finger.
Yeah.
He's got the littlest of the littles.
So. I did like, though, I will say, though, that I think the advice, you know, when they were reminiscing about their father, about Ned, you know, and Sansa says the line, oh, yeah, father didn't let us do that. Father didn't curse in front of us, you know, trying to protect them. And then in the end, he obviously didn't protect them. But then when she tells him, you know, like, you are good at this, but you need to be smarter than father was. You need to be smarter than Robb was. Look at what they did. Look at the mistakes that they made. And don't do that.
But they didn't make mistakes. They really didn't make.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! Robb did. Are you kidding me? Robb made a mistake.
They should have been able to trust. They were betrayed by people they should have been able to trust.
Exactly.
Oh, but Robb made a mistake.
No,
when Robb married that girl, when he married that girl, he broke the alliance with Walder Frey. Now, I'm not saying what Frey did was right, but he made an alliance with Frey that he was going to marry one of their girls in to get the army.
Anything, so
yes, he did. He did.
No, his mother made that. His mother made that.
He signed the alliance agreement. He made a pact. Caitlyn set it up, yes, but he signed the agreements.
Did Robb? I'm pretty sure it was his mother.
Signed.
It was his mom. It was his mother. No. And here's the thing. And here's why. That was. You can fight me on that. You can absolutely. That's fine. And that's absolutely okay.
Because he even told Caitlyn. He goes, "I know I broke my pact with Walder Frey, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this to try and make it right. I'm going to offer this." You know, Arya, and I'm going to offer this. And he goes, but I know I screwed up, Mom. I know that I messed up. So he knows that he broke the pact. So don't tell me.
That's the thing, though. And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now, though, is you can't do those types of things if you're going to be the iron hand of the law, which him and his father were. John is showing something else. Snow is showing another way to do this.
Oh, I agree. I think Snow is doing it
if you're
better,
trying to be the iron hand of the law.
But you can't sit there and say Robb didn't make mistakes. Ned made mistakes too. So don't tell me that they didn't make mistakes. But Ned's honor got him killed by not just shutting Cersei down, by giving Cersei a chance to flee, take your kids and run instead of just locking her up. That is what got him killed. She had time to plot. She had time to plan. And look who got his head chopped off. There goes Ned Stark.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake to not kill a woman and her children.
I didn't say kill. I said lock her up.
That was the only choice he had. That was the choice he had.
Only choice.
Because he had. If he had arrested her,
and he made his choice. Was it a mistake? I think it was a mistake. Yeah, because look at what's happened now. Look at where Cersei is now.
If he had arrested them, it was a death sentence. So he was allowing a woman, in his mind, a woman and her children to flee to safety. Because if he had arrested them, they would have been put to death.
Robert made the point that Ned's mistake was trusting. That was
Ned's mistake was trusting. So I'm not going to rip on him too bad for that because I think he made a choice. But Robb just flat out made a mistake. I'm not saying, okay, you sleep with that person, that's fine. You make a baby with that person, that's fine. You don't marry her. And I'm the first person to say, oh yeah, okay, maybe marriage in a real world, but this is, you broke your pact. You made an enemy where you shouldn't have made an enemy. You screwed up and you died because of it. And almost all of your men died. You cost so many people their lives because you couldn't keep it in your pants. Essentially.
But so here's the thing, though, is Walder Frey has nowhere to talk on that because the dude is having sex with everybody in his building. So
I know.
Who is that guy to do anything against that, right? So what's the trust on that? So it's one of those things.
And who knows? He may have betrayed them anyways. You know, with Roose Bolton and wanting to take over the North. So there may have been a betrayal anyways. But the fact is you gave him an opening to stick the knife in your back. And you shouldn't have done that.
But he also broke. Okay, a man that was willing to break the laws of hospitality in this world, and especially kill an entire group of people during a wedding.
It was crap. It was bull crap.
Do it to him anyways.
Yeah,
But
that's why I said it. But you gave him the opening, but he made a mistake. We're not. That's all I'm saying is he made a mistake. So, and it cost him his life. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what happens.
Yeah, passion.
Yeah, no kidding. So this is what happens.
You do have good points. I do think
you-
he would have betrayed.
When you make a mistake, that's what happens. So
Yeah.
you lose your head.
You lose your head. Yeah.
So let's get into these last couple major scenes. Back again, Clegane. We finally got to see the Hound again with the group that he's with right now.
Best line of the night too.
And they came up to the house that actually gave them shelter, him and Arya, at one point. And you could see Clegane didn't want to bother them or mess with them or anything like that. And when they went in, they found that the family that had been there was no longer alive, that they had died basically starving. And Clegane kept telling him, talking about how the Lord of the Light makes wrong decisions and who he's bringing back to life when he keeps bringing back the same guy over and over. And when you have good people that don't deserve to die there. And it wasn't until he was brought to the fireplace and shown what's coming that he understood a little bit more of what's going on. So I know, Jack, you really wanted to get into it talking about the Hound. So you're on mute. You're on mute.
Hit the button.
I said, because the Hound is one of my favorite characters. I love his character progression. He's entirely different.
I do too. He's been one of my favorite characters since the beginning. Yeah.
He's deep. He's been. There's many faces to the Hound.
Well, he
there's
doesn't want to
nothing
be
about a guy that just says it like it is. Like the Hound is about as shallow as a puddle, but he tells it like it's said and how it should be said and what it is.
Yeah,
and
but he did have the best line of the night.
He wears all
I
his
think.
emotions on his face.
On his half a face. On his half a face.
Well, Tuna brings a good
point. He
point.
still has the whole face, just part of it's burned.
Tuna brings up a good point.
He can stick an iron to it.
That I love how they made him look more human, like physically, less like a killer and more like a human. And yeah, I mean,
that was last season. They made him look like a human more than this season.
But he's still not totally back into that Hound form. I mean, he doesn't want to.
He never will be. His life was spared. His life was spared, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got gutted out. He lived, and then he said, "I don't have to be the Hound anymore. I can go be somebody else now."
Robert said he understood. Bury the dead before they get up and kill you after you set the fire. Yeah.
I was ready for him. I was like, you got to burn that with fire, Clegane. You can't just bury those folk. You're gonna have to fight those people later on, man.
Well, I mean, it was also, as they really stuck the knife in and twisted it on him. They really stuck the knife in. Oh, good night, Ben. They really stuck the knife in there and twisted it on him because he stole that family's money right before winter. Mm-hmm. So he set them up to die. And that's how when he said there's no such thing as divine justice, because if there was, you'd be dead and that girl would be alive. Yeah. But he was also saying there was divine justice. I would be dead because I basically murdered these people.
Yeah.
He left him with nothing.
Yeah, left him with nothing. And I remember that scene too, because I think they showed it in a flashback where he told Arya, they're gonna be dead anyways. So, I'm basically helping us survive, and even with this, even if they had this still, they would still die.
And that's the worst part of it, is seeing that, the guy describing how the death went, where it's like the guy had to murder his own daughter to,
spare her the pain, of starvation.
So, and he's coming as it goes farther and farther, he's coming closer and closer to reality of humanity. And he grew up with this terrible thing with his brother, with his face being burned and always being prodded towards being a bad guy. And he just doesn't want to be that anymore. So it's almost a two-face scenario where you have those two sides from the burn.
Well, the thing is it's not so much that he doesn't want to be that character anymore. He wants to be a different person, right? He wants to change. He wants to go through that, and the willingness to look in the fire, be close to the fire was a part of that, right? He knows he's a different person now, so him already taking those steps to get into those moments was a big thing as well. So I think you're right. Yeah, he doesn't want to be the Hound anymore. He wants to be something better and bigger. And the thing is I love the conversation he had there with the knights and talking about what made you so deserving. And I think that's him thinking, would I be deserving was that me? Was that just me? Did that just happen? Did the Lord of Light bring me back? Was I deserving of that second life? Mm-hmm. Because I got one. Would I be deserving of a third and a fourth and a fifth as well?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Has to toss up a poll on the video here really quick.
We got
who is
Tyrion,
your favorite Game of Thrones character?
Yeah, we got Tyrion the Hound. Let's go. Anybody else? If you guys want,
I got Arya. Five choices.
If you guys
Hound
want,
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get Arya.
So they're gonna throw up a poll of favorite Game of Thrones character, guys.
But game, like you said, tells it like it is. But when he, the guy's like, come look in the fire, and he's like, no. And he's like, but you got to come look at the fire. And he gets up and he's like, God, you just my damn luck to fall in with a bunch of fire worshipers.
At first too, and it looked like it looked like he was afraid and that he was gonna, it wasn't the fire.
Oh, he is afraid of fire. He's been afraid of fire for a long time.
I know.
They don't play it up very much
in
the show, but they play it up in the books that he's afraid of fire.
Yeah.
It's why he left the fight at King's Landing when the wildfire started going up with the ships, and he was just like, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate Joffrey. I hate this, business all over. And he's like, I'm done. I'm gone.
But it's a new thing now. Once he sees this vision within the fire. I mean, that's it's opening. He gets more and more things opening his eyes to stuff. So I'm really curious as to what's going to happen when, if ever, him and Arya come across paths again, because he's a completely different man than what he was before.
Yes.
So.
All right. So I got on this poll here. I got the Hound. I got Tyrion. I got Arya. Who were the other two you guys wanted on there?
You could put.
Yeah, so
you
real
could
fast,
throw,
Jay Lee just dropped like heavy news on me. Like, how dare you, bro?
You didn't hear this earlier?
I did not. I'm gonna tell you now. I've been enjoying a day off. I haven't been on the internet because the thing was I was trying to avoid any kind of Game of Thrones spoilers. So I avoided everything social media and the internet today. And Jay Lee, you have now ruined my night officially, bro.
Yeah.
And
you gotta throw in Brienne.
I'm sad.
In there.
Yeah, Brienne Tarth, please throw me some Brienne Tarth.
Yeah.
So what Matt's talking about is the news that George A. Romero, the creator of Night of the Living Dead, passed away at 71 years old today.
Yeah, so rest in peace, man. Let's get a clip right here. And we're back. Thanks, you guys. Rest in peace, man. That was a sad moment for sure. So
yeah. But then we basically finish out the episode with Daenerys coming. Well, I mean, it goes back to Sam again and getting the books and after getting the books and discovering
like he's going to write the note to Jon and send it off, but we don't know if he actually gets to send it off.
Well, and that's my fear is does he end up getting in trouble for these books and something happened to him?
Is he going to get it out? Yeah.
Well, Sam may not be the one that gets to get the message to him. She may end up being the one that has to.
What is her name? Does anyone remember her name? What's her name?
Wildling girl.
Oh, Gilly.
Yes.
Gilly. And baby Sam.
The wildling. The wildling.
I had I'm doing the death pool right now for the Game of Thrones stuff. And I put baby Sam was going to die first episode, but I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Well, that's the other thing that was that I forgot about. We had our little surprise character show up in the episode, asking if Daenerys had made it yet.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Oh yeah, that was Jorah Mormont.
It's Jorah
Mormont.
Oh, okay.
He went to go be healed by the And I can't believe
I totally forgot that.
That's so awesome. It was so awesome to see
I
him.
saw the grayscale and I was like, I should know who that is. But
hearing his voice, that was just enough for me. But to see his full arm is just completely encased.
You see how far along he is.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
That was sad. That was sad.
So, yeah, there's no saving him from that.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be around much longer. So hopefully Sam figures out a way to cure that. So maybe that'll be in some of those books that he's pulled as a way to save Jorah Mormont. And
that would be awesome because I still like the character.
There's got to be some foreshadowing that's going to come along with him being there. It may come along the factor of Sam realizing that somebody that knows who Daenerys is there at the cathedral, to the center to talk to and kind of find out a little bit more about her. That might end up being what, but him being thrown in there for that 30 seconds, it's not just there for no reason.
So the one question I have is does Sam know that Jon Snow has bailed out, or because he left before he was killed, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because he left, he still thinks Jon Snow is at the wall.
He still thinks Jon's dead. I think.
Yeah, I think he still thinks he's at the wall.
No,
still.
Yeah,
he doesn't think Jon's dead because he's like, I got to get this info to Jon. You know,
he obviously knows Jon's alive, but he left before he was killed. So, and that's my thing is, if he's not getting the answers he's needing from the wall, does Sam then go and become the maester for Daenerys?
Well, possibly, but if he's able to get a raven and out, then he'll be able to communicate with them. So I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that's I think maybe stretching a little bit, at least at this point with the information we've been given.
Luna, awesome drop, dude. Jorah Mormont is going to be the new thing for Fantastic Four.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
God.
And I love the other comment from Marco. Stop trying to touch people, Jorah.
Yeah, stop it, Jorah. Bad touch, Jorah.
Yeah, Jason, Jay Lee, if he had touched Sam, I would have rioted.
That would have been Jay Lee's moment to smash the TV. Was Jorah touching Sam?
Oh, now we're
the
just
poll is up.
Now we're just talking by the way, everybody that died.
So we have a poll up for you guys to vote for your favorite Game of Thrones character. But what you'll need to do is reload the page, and what will happen is it will appear right up in your top corner on the left, actually the left side here, and it'll be a little eye, so you guys can click on that, and then a little poll will pop up. So reload the page, and you'll see that poll at the top of the screen here on the feed, and you guys will get that.
It should show up if they just hang around for a while. It'll show up too. But if your favorite isn't on the poll, go ahead and drop it in the comments below.
Absolutely, because I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to reload the feed so I can vote. So, because as long as Brienne's on there, I know where my vote's going. So,
he loves him.
I'm not going to lie, I love it. I love that she's in the Star Wars films too, even though you can't see her.
I know.
I do love me Gwendolyn. I love me some Gwendolyn.
Dude, it's such an unuse of such a great actress. Captain Phasma is just so
going to be a lot more prominent in this one. I mean, basically, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Another day, another podcast.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones. It's time for Brienne Tarth to take over.
Marco keeps bringing up that Littlefinger's dagger is in the book. Is in that book.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
It was, absolutely. So it's going to be a dragon glass.
Yeah. So.
Maybe that's what the back was, because I thought the main part of the dagger was the Valyrian steel.
Yeah, it's Valyrian steel.
And so Valyrian steel works the same as dragon glass, though. The Valyrian steel kills just as much as the glass does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But hey, maybe Littlefinger becomes a White Walker and Sansa kills him with the dagger.
Dude.
His little white finger.
I would like him dead anyways.
Yeah, that would be a trip.
Well, everybody's always said that a lot of people have said that at the end of it, because of his play on things, when everything's said and done, it'll be Littlefinger sitting on the Iron Throne. And I hope that doesn't happen, but man, that would be just a dastardly ending. But yeah, so we end the episode. We end the episode with finally seeing my favorite character, who doesn't say one word.
Yes, you
have done. Yeah, she did.
Not
she
her,
ended
not Daenerys. My favorite character is Tyrion, and Tyrion doesn't say anything.
Oh no, he didn't say. Yeah, Tyrion didn't say one word.
He was too tiny. You couldn't hear him on the mic. The mic didn't catch him. That's why
I actually thought they were going to end it with none of them speaking, and then she ended the episode with, or what was it? Are we ready to start, or shall we get started? Shall we get started?
So,
and but then but he just had that look of, he's got his plan, and he's coming.
I will tell you that while Tyrion is a great character, he's not my favorite character, but Peter Dinklage is by far the best actor in the show.
Yes, by far.
Absolutely.
By far.
And then Jay Lee had a great point about Sam gaining his strength back slowly, that his father's taken from him over all these years, being such a weak character and slowly gaining that back. So I like that.
Well, he's found his niche. He doesn't have to be the warrior like Jon Snow is, and he doesn't have to be the ruler. He's the book smart guy, and he's found his place, so to speak, and he's basically shoving it to his father, essentially, and doing what he needs to do.
So a couple comments about what we're thinking at the end, talking about Littlefinger and something like that. We have Robert saying he hopes the dragon eats Littlefinger, and they show the dragon crap out his skull. And then Marco brought up, do you all think that the White Walkers are the ones who built the wall in the first place?
No, because I think they're not trying to keep anybody out. I don't think the White Walkers are trying to keep anybody out or in. They are trying to kill and enhance their numbers.
I might be remembering this wrong, but I thought that the Starks helped build the wall. Bran the Builder helped build Winterfell, and then also started construction on Castle Black and the wall. Now, I don't know if that part is correct, but I'm fairly certain that Bran the Builder had a hand in it.
Okay,
he might have had a hand in it, but I think the wall already existed. Before him, if I had to pick somebody that built it, I'd say it was the Giants that built it.
No, I think Bran the Builder was the builder of the Castle Black, is what it was. Or
he was the builder. So he helped fortify the wall, but he didn't actually build the wall.
Yeah,
I'd say the Giants probably built it.
The Giants, maybe something like that. Yeah, no. Bran was just one of the first, what do they call those dudes up there? The leaders of the Men of the Black. The
first men.
The Crows.
No, what's the name of the Crow leader though? What's that guy? Well, I can't. Lord Commander. I think he was one of the
Lord
first.
Commander of the Night Watch. Yeah. Interesting.
But Jay Lee thinks they should just make armor out of dragon glass and kill him with kindness. Lots of hugs for the White Walkers, everybody.
But Robert makes a good point. The White Walkers are a plague, and the White Walkers were created. I don't know if they've flat out come out and said this, but they were created by the children of the forest to wipe out mankind, and
that's what Tuna pointed out. Tuna pointed out. I think he meant before they were turned into White Walkers. So was it the guy that got turned into the king that helped build the wall in the first place?
Gotcha.
Maybe
possibility.
Which would be interesting.
They haven't said that yet, so it's a speculation at this point.
Yeah,
so I think they do a great job with it though, where we don't. I'm cool with not getting a big origin story. Like I think like all great zombie flicks, like don't explain where the zombies come from, just give us the damn zombies. I think that's a killer way to go with it. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts about the episode that didn't get mentioned?
But yeah, Robert is saying they did confirm what Tim had said.
Started off with a bang, and I think it's just going to keep on running. There's going to be really no down moments, not down moments. There's going to be no slow moments.
Well,
it's just going to keep on running.
With the shorter season, I think that's the way it's going to be. Like let's hit because this is the 2 seasons. We've got 2 seasons left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're also talking about the next season. The final season is every episode. They're talking about going to 6, but each episode being feature length.
2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2. Every episode being a feature length episode
so it'll be,
2 hours.
It'll be like watching a season of Sherlock.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they're talking about dropping the episode count, but increasing the time of each episode.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
That's pretty wild. I mean, that's
big. Wild.
That's big.
As long as they pick up the pacing, because some of the episodes from last season were kind of drawn out, slow taffy affairs.
That was the last long season.
But that's every season. You get 3 killers, you get 5 blahs, and then there's like 1 or 2 just absolute out of the park, just like really good episodes after that. Like that's just how they've always been broke down. The thing I have with the feature lengths is if it's just gonna be filler, then don't do that to us. Just give us 6 phenomenal episodes if you're gonna cut them short. I'd rather have 6 just action packs and just don't stop, don't leave me hanging, than give me 6 2-hour episodes.
Yeah. So
I could go with that.
And any speculation as to what's coming up next on the next episode?
Well,
we're
probably
gonna get a lot of
gonna
Daenerys and Tyrion.
We're gonna get Tyrion. This might be where they start plotting to what I think they're going to be doing is taking over Casterly Rock, and they're going to be plotting to send Grey Worm leading an army into the sewers of Casterly Rock, and taking it over from the inside.
So, do you guys want the quick little the next episode is called Stormborn.
Okay.
And
so it's gonna be a Daenerys heavy.
Well,
episode.
You want the quick the little 2 sentence synopsis?
Everybody can go read it themselves.
Okay.
I purposely don't watch that stuff or anything because they always.
Well, no, it's not. Yeah, that's why I was asking. I don't want to.
Yeah, I can't stand those little things because it usually ruins the first 5 minutes of every episode because that's all they ever cover is the first 5 minutes, and it's just like those are the.
Well, it's not a full stop. It was literally 3 sentences. So, but yeah, we will. It's going to be an exciting panel this year at Comic-Con because this is the first time we're in the middle of the season. Second episode won't have aired yet, and we will be at the Game of Thrones panel on Friday. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm really curious how they're going to bring the videos for that.
It's just going to be so good because there's going to be so many people in there that have not caught up, that are a season behind, that haven't got anything, and they're going to spoil the hell out of that first episode, and it's going to be so beautiful. I actually hope that they give us like the first like 20 minutes or something of episode 2, because normally that panel is just awful anyways. So give us a little early piece of it, give us a preview of it, and it's just spoiling it for thousands of fans in that room and just hearing them groan and moan. Everybody's running out to go get bathroom passes. Like, no! Oh, it's going to be so good.
But speaking of Comic-Con on Friday, as you know, we do our podcasts on Friday, and me and Big Papa Matt will be there, and we will be part of the podcast live from the Hall H line. So guys, tune in for that. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more of our content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we bring the content pretty regular. In fact, tomorrow, episode of Preacher, we will be back on here with Beacon, our resident preacher man, running the reaction video with myself, SuperWhovianFreak, and possibly Big Papa Matt, depending on how tired he is. So, but we'll be here to talk the next episode of Preacher tomorrow and have a lot more fun content. There was one other little thing we wanted to talk about. If you guys are in the San Diego area, or even if you're not, one of our favorite spots, Sky High Comics, got nominated for Best Comic Shop in San Diego, and want to give a little shout out to them and where you can actually go to give a vote for them. Where's the?
Yeah, we'll drop that down in the description below after the video is up. But they were nominated as an A-list Best Comic Book Store in San Diego by City Voter. So go jump over there and give those guys a vote. Help them out. They're a great shop. The owner is an amazing person. Love the place.
So, and then last couple things on the chat. Bran is back. He's got big news to tell Snow. Robert was saying, Littlefinger finds out all and tells all. It's a question mark.
No, he'll find out all, but he won't tell all. He tells it when it's going to
Luna. We miss you too, bro.
So next season, won't next season be before Comic-Con? I think it falls, it might be actually before or falling right during it, but they're going to come really big panel wise next season with Comic-Con. I think it'll be the first time that Game of Thrones comes with the entire cast.
It all just depends on how it's going to play out with post-production, things like that. So we'll see. Yeah.
So I think they're going to try and get stuff done enough where they can have the entire cast there, though. I think they're going to want to go out really big at Comic-Con. But you can follow us on Twitter as well at Malice Corp. And then you can also follow our website where we write little articles about the things we talk about at malice-corp.com. And where else can you follow the rest of us? So Big Papa Matt, where can we follow you?
You can follow me at Big Papa Matt on Twitter, as well as my podcast, Nerd Mosh Pit. We got a little delays right now because we're having some issues getting feeds up, but it will be back. I promise it. I got over our Mr. Producer over here, and he's going to promise you guys will be back as well as soon as all that's up. I'm putting him on the spot here for all of the internet to see. But you can also follow me at the Big Papa Matt on Instagram, Son of Maku on Snapchat, SONOFMAKU. And that same tag right there is my PlayStation Network tab. So hit me up on PlayStation Network. We'll go around. We'll have some fun. We'll shoot some things. We'll play some games. So I'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
SuperWhovianFreak, where can we follow you?
Follow me on Twitter at SuperWhovianNet, and then follow me on Instagram at SuperWhovianFreak.
And then Jack Malice, you're on mute. Where can we follow you?
At Jack_Malice. That's pretty much it. Just on Twitter.
On Twitter. Okay. And then if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Mest5150_Malice Corp. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Mest5150. We'll be coming with videos and photos and everything of San Diego Comic-Con during this weekend. So if you guys want to see that stuff, make sure to follow us on those things. But with that, I bid you guys adieu, and thank you all for coming, and thank you for enjoying the video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. And we'll see you guys tomorrow in a couple days as well. Peace.